I actually saw some of this drama on my Twitter feed, and I was like, what is going on? You're blocked? Oh, this is why you guys were asking if Keemstar blocked. I didn't make this video. What are you talking about? This guy made the video. I didn't do any real work. No, but the other day I had seen this. It was like insane. And it was just such a mess. I didn't cover it. And then I saw this video from Bo Blacks called "TheQuartering says Keemstar is pro, pedo on Twitter." And I was like, hey, this is most likely, I'm assuming, going to be a nice collection of everything in order. So, you should probably watch their video over mine, but we all know that you're just here to watch my old boomer ranting. So let's get into that.
TheQuartering and Keemstar are fighting yet again on Twitter. For those of you who've been following my channel for a while, this is nothing new. But what makes this argument more interesting is the fact that it resulted in TheQuartering accusing Keemstar of being pro-pedophilia. So how...
You know what's really weird? I kind of noticed this, and maybe this is just because I'm a grown man, is that a lot of grown men argue with each other on Twitter in like a really weird way. I feel like a lot of it's really weird. I don't know. Like a lot of grown men argue on Twitter. I guess a lot of people argue on Twitter. Maybe I'm just more like aware of it because I'm a grown man. But I don't know, dude. Sometimes it kind of just seems like, I don't know. It kind of seems like all the grown men are just like they're just trying to like flex their balls on each other and be like, I'm the Twitter grown man daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Keemstar, I'm the daddy, and TheQuartering, I'm the daddy. But it's just like, that's weird that you want to be the daddy of drama on Twitter. Anyway, yeah, let's get into it.
How did this happen? Well, it all starts with Kyle Rittenhouse of being...
Didn't figure Keem for being pro-pedophilia, like literal pedophilia, not just the people he slandered online. Yikes. Okay. Let's have a little bit of a virtue signal. Okay,
pro-pedophilia. So how did this happen? Well, it all starts with Kyle Rittenhouse. Yes, the guy who was found not guilty in murdering 2 people during a Black Lives Matter protest.
Well, okay.
As it was proven that he had to kill them as an act of self-defense. Due to the fact that this action of self-defense happened at a Black Lives Matter
guys, no comment on Kyle Rittenhouse. I don't want you to cancel me. Okay. No, I already made enough videos on Kyle Rittenhouse.
Protest. Obviously, this event was very politicized, with the left advocating for Kyle to be guilty, and the right saying that he isn't guilty, which is what the verdict ended up being. So, it's to no surprise that the left-leaning Hollywood actor, Pedro Pascal, ended up memorializing the 2 people that Kyle killed in a
damn, dude.
Tweet that says,
more like the woman DeLorean, you know what I'm saying, dude? Because this is Pedro Pascal, the real man. You want to know what the most controversial thing I'm going to say in this video is that the Mandalorian's not that good. It kind of sucks. So, fuck you.
Joseph Rosenbaum, 36, and Anthony Huber, 37, murdered August 25th, 2020. Rest in peace. Now, initially looking at this tweet, you may not see anything wrong with it, but if you actually look up who Joseph and Anthony were...
Let's see. So, I know about Joseph Rosenbaum. My understanding is that, he assaulted children, like he raped a boy in the butt or and something along those lines. Let's see. Convicted felon, assault and battery, domestic abuse, false imprisonment. What does false imprisonment mean? Was he falsely... Fuck, I gotta get a new keyboard. I keep knocking keys out of my keyboard with just light brushes. Let's look into this. False imprisonment is an act punishable under criminal law as well as under law. Under tort law, is classified as an intentional tort. A person commits false imprisonment when he commits an act of restraint on another person who confines that person. Okay, so he imprisons. I mean, I guess I should have known that based on the context clues. So this guy, yeah. So this guy's kind of a scumbag too. And then convicted felon, felony burglary, probation violation, illegal weapon. Now I don't know the specifics of all this stuff. Here's all I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay, people make mistakes. So I mean, the assault and battery. I don't know, domestic abuse. I mean, is that like abuse of your partner? Yeah, that's pretty shitty. But to be honest with you, the only crime that I personally, morally, don't think can really get moved on from is raping a child. So. This is the only person I really I'm going to sit here and hold a specific moral judgment to. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying.
You will see that these people Kyle killed in self-defense just so happened to be a pedophile and a wife beater respectively.
And I just want to keep something in mind, guys. from a legal perspective, we have to understand. Legal perspective, none of this matters. This doesn't change the outcome of like the court. You know, them like being having a criminal record has absolutely no weight on the court. However, it does have a moral weight. I can say like, oh, I don't care that he's dead, and I don't. The world's probably better off. I'm sorry if that's upsetting to you, but it is what it is.
So, with that in mind, regardless of what side you are on in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, it is really weird to say rest in peace to a pedophile, which is why the quartering.
Well, sure. This is the thing, though, is that like, so actually, one of the things interesting. When I first saw this information, I thought it was all bullshit because you have a lot of false information getting pushed around all over the place from both sides, not just from one side. On anything that's politicized. So it's hard. I don't look at this and go like that had to be a fact. You got to look into it. And maybe this is me not doing my due diligence and also not being super invested in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. But I didn't look into this in the first place. So I could see why Pedro Pascal said that. Now I think it's obviously it's irresponsible. I mean, I just explained how I was irresponsible as well. But I don't think that my point is I don't think he was like, yeah, I know this guy did horrible things to kids, but he's still a victim. You know what I'm saying? I doubt that he even really knew or took this seriously. So
it is really weird to say rest in peace to a pedophile, which is why TheQuartering tweeted out, when you and the family tune into Disney Plus to watch The Mandalorian.
No, but you shouldn't do that, by the way. Again, The Mandalorian's not that good. It kind of sucks. Like, it's mediocre. It wasn't like it was not good, man. I'm sorry. Like, it wasn't horrible. But after the newest trilogy of Star Wars movies that were dog shit came out, well, the second and third one the third one specifically was hard. Well, no, the second one was the worst. Third one was desperately trying to deal with the problems of the second one. Whatever. Anyway, this just didn't do it for me. I wasn't like, wow, this is really good. It was just like, it was mediocre. And I just felt like there were areas in it that I just couldn't move past. First 3 episodes were really good. Fourth was okay, kind of fell off. Wasn't a big fan of it. Anyway, this isn't really the point.
Remember that the main actor, Pedro Pascal, is mourning the death of a man that anally raped children. A literal pedophile. A violent pedophile. He did so publicly. Now, before we move on, me reading out that tweet definitely got me demonetized. So I'd like to announce that this video is sponsored by She Against Day and third contributing.
This is, hey guys, this is monetized. This video is brought to you by a VPN. There's only one of 2 reasons you have it. Either to look at Netflix in Canada or look at child porn. That's pretty much the only reason you have a VPN. Or to not get doxxed. So yeah, 3 reasons.
9 for Elijah. Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video. Anyways, let's...
Thank you, Raid Shadow Legends, for sponsoring my video. Just kidding. They didn't, and I wouldn't let them.
Get back to the tweets.
They've reached out to me. They're so weird.
This feud started when Keemstar responded to TheQuartering by saying, this guy claims to be fighting SJWs in cancel culture, but he acts just like the people he's fighting.
So here's my thing.
Clown emoji. TheQuartering responds by saying, Keem going pro-pedophile, eh? Bold move. Likely a good decision to retire.
Alright, so I just want to... Bro, I'm not like super educated on TheQuartering. Hey, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. But here's the thing, man. I totally understand why people get riled up over this. A lot of people do. And like, I don't know what it is. This is just an observation. This isn't a criticism on progressives. But I've noticed it seems to be more conservative-leaning men that care about pedophilia, than hating it. I don't really know why. I don't know. Maybe that's just like an anecdotal observation that's not rooted in anything. Anyway, I can understand the quartering is coming from. I mean, but I don't know, man, about the whole cancel culture thing. I guess I have a different take on cancel culture. Like, I mean, it doesn't look like he's sitting here trying to claim like, hey, this person shouldn't be able to do The Mandalorian. More of like, oh, look at this guy, you know, blah, blah, blah. I guess it is kind of cancel-ish. I don't know. I guess I have to think about it a little bit. When it comes to like pedophilic shit, you know, cancel culture, there are times where it's okay, I guess. But, I don't know. Maybe let me sit on it a little more.
If you want to learn more,
to me, this doesn't read as cancel culture. Just like, hey, listen, this guy is intentionally pushing what I would consider like misinformation. Like, this guy really isn't a victim. I mean, he's the one who charged Kyle Rittenhouse, and he also raped kids. So, like, he's not a good person. And, like, I understand why Pedro Pascal wouldn't be educated on it, but also, Like, that's your fucking problem. Like, yeah, that's shitty. You shouldn't be praising these people. Well, specifically that one, Rosenbaum. But okay.
More about what he's referencing. I'll have a video about Keem's retirement in the cards up above. Viva Free responds to Keemstar by saying, "What part of the Quartering statement are you disagreeing with, Keemstar?" The Quartering responds, "I mean, I don't mourn the death of violent pedophiles. I guess that's weird to him. I never called for the guy to be fired. I just pointed out a fact." The Quartering then
That's fair. Yeah, a lot of times when people cancel somebody, they're like, this person shouldn't have a platform. Yeah, that's a lot of times when it is. There's a difference between pointing something out and saying like, oh, this person shouldn't have a platform because A, B, X, Y, Z, you know what I mean? It's more of like, oh, this guy's disgusting. Like when you watch The Mandalorian, keep that in mind, I guess.
quote tweets Keem and says, "Didn't figure Keem for being pro-pedophile. Like, literal pedophile. Not just the people he slanders online."
I mean, that's an unfair assertion. Like, I don't think Keem is pro-pedophile. Keem is dumb as shit, but I think Keemstar is hypersensitive to cancel culture because people try to cancel him. That's probably what it is, and so he's probably just projecting himself a little bit. But I wouldn't say he's pro-pedo. At this point, we're kind of virtue signaling here. Like, we all know that Keemstar isn't pro-pedophile. Okay, he's only 15. Remember, he said he only feels like a 15. No, I'm just kidding. He definitely is a weirdo, though. I mean, like, you're 40-year-old dating a 20-year-old, 39 dating a 20-year-old, and then she breaks up with you? How'd you pull that off, man? Oh, I don't know, man. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yikes.
That's a big fucking L, dog.
Never demanded Pedro lose his job. I didn't demand he be cancelled. Keem has been pissed ever since I called him stupid. It's his biggest insecurity. He may have money, but the guy is an idiot. I peed in my basement. Tipster.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. He is kind of dumb. But I don't know. I kind of feel like this is a little bit of virtue signaling, though. Yeah, like, this is a pretty fair. I like you, Jeremy, with this tweet edit. Yeah, I don't think that this tweet is it either.
Quote tweets The Quartering and says, "I like you, Jeremy, but this tweet ain't
a lot of grown men fighting on Twitter, brother.
Ain't it, dog?" The Quartering responds, "Hey, maybe one day Keem will let you make a video on his channel. I get it."
Now we're just being dumb and petty. I mean, like, I'm not a particularly big Keemstar fan, but I will say that Keemstar seems to somewhat regularly like host other people's content on there, or occasionally allow them to do research on topics that he feels are a big deal, which is, I can respect that. It does only seem to be the people he likes, but I guess that's how everybody operates, so.
Tipster quote tweets him and says, "Keem offered to let me host Drama Alert. I declined, but go off." Keemstar.
You know why he probably declined? Is it's a lot of work. It's a 24/7 job to do Drama Alert, so.
Then responds to The Quartering with this video titled, "Reality Check."
TheQuartering, aka Jeremy, you and your fans have lost your goddamn mind. Forever, you've been saying you're against cancel culture and you're against the social justice warriors. You're against going after sponsors and all this other shit, right? Well, apparently some actor made a claim, rest in peace to the fucking pedophile that Kyle Rittenhouse killed in self-defense, all right?
We need to be very, okay, so we need to have a conversation right now that we didn't have, and we should have had this earlier. We keep calling this guy a pedophile, and I'm not saying he's not a pedophile, but there is a difference between being a pedophile and a rapist, a child molester, a child rapist, right? Like, you can be a pedophile that has, urges and not act on them, right? I think as a society, I think it's a good thing to allow people with because you don't choose to have urges of being attracted to children. And most of the time, well, not most of the time, but there's a lot of the time, a lot of people who are attracted to children were actually abused as children themselves. So this is something that's uncontrollable. So my perspective is, hey, if we can allow them to be comfortable enough to come forward to a therapist, not to me, because I won't like it, to a therapist, and get the help that they needed, that would drastically, I think, reduce the amount of child abuse going on, right? You would be able to help them manage their thoughts and feelings before they commit harm onto children. So there is a difference between a pedophile and a child molester. Just wanted to throw that out there.
So you got upset about that, and you want to call the guy out. But instead of calling the actor out, You decide to put out a tweet saying, oh, when your family is watching Disney Plus and they're watching the Star Wars series, be reminded that the lead actor is a fucking pedophile supporter or whatever.
I mean, like, let's be honest, bro. Star Wars loves that kind of shit. They had a brother and sister make out. You know what I'm saying, dude? Like, Star Wars is all about that shit, brother.
Did you add Disney Plus? Why did you fucking add that he's in a Star Wars series? Why didn't you just talk about the actor? Because you're being a social justice, cancel culture warrior, fucking hypocrite. That's why. So I call you out for that, and your fans then respond, oh, I guess you support pedophiles.
This is like a really petty drama, bro.
You know who else acts this way? The cancel culture fucking pieces of shit all over the fucking internet.
In Keemstar's defense, though, I do think that this was this quartering kind of, I wouldn't say started it. What are we at, 5 minutes? I wouldn't say he started it, right? Like, here's the, let me just go. So for me, this fucking VPN thing. So the original one, I think this was fine from the quartering. I think Keemstar's response, I generally disagree with it, but I think that this is a fine perspective. Like, I understand where he's coming from. It's this is where it gets petty. Oh, Keemstar, you're a pedophile too? You're pro-pedophile? Like, it's like, okay, we just went off the rails there. Like, what the fuck? He could have responded, be like, there's a difference between canceling like somebody who's harmed a child or supporters of people who harm children and canceling somebody because they say something like stupid, like how conservatives are the new Jews in the Holocaust, like Gina Carano did. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would have been a more appropriate response. But this is where it got petty here.
Your fans are just like that. Now you respond. You, Jeremy, yourself respond and say, I didn't.
He kind of gives me the Hunger Games guy vibe. Who's the Hunger Games guy?
The Keemstar would be pro-pedophile, but I guess he is. You are a social justice warrior, cancel culture, fucking moron, just like everyone else on this goddamn site. You are no different.
Yeah, it's kind of giving me this energy, I don't think I'm wrong. Think about it.
Different than the people you call out. Look at your actions. Look at your tweets. Look how you fucking act. Look how your fucking mindless sheep fans act. Look what they say. Look how they spin narratives. You're all a complete joke, and only Keemstar lives in base reality.
Interesting. You know what's very interesting? Somebody said, who's the pedophile in Mandalorian? Well, you have to think about this. Here's the woke take, okay? Give me a sec. All right. You guys know how young, little weebs will watch anime, and there'll be a girl that looks like she's fucking 12 years old, and they're like, no, she's actually an alien from Mars that's 6,000 years old. So it's not actually inappropriate, right? Think about this: the baby in the Mandalorian is a baby, right? Like the baby Yoda. Right, little baby Yoda. Look at this cute little baby in the Mandalorian. Oh, such a cute baby. Well, here's something you didn't know. The baby Yoda is 50 years old. Wow. Now, why do you think they did that? Do you think they did that to go along with the narrative that, like, whatever Yoda's race of people live for a long time so they have a slower development cycle? Of course not. It's so that people can go, look at that baby. Well, it's 50. I guess it's okay if I think about inappropriate things about this baby. You guys didn't think about that. You didn't think about it like that. But this is the same fucking thing as anime. Trying to make you attracted to a little bald gremlin. Gross. It's fucking Mandalorian needs to be canceled. Honestly.
Thank you.
Grim Undim responds to Keem by saying, for those of you refusing to understand, he's saying go after Pedro as a person and not his career. The Mandalorian has nothing to do with this. TheQuartering responds to Keem by saying, Keem, we have all seen the young women you date. I get why you might sympathize with Pedro Pascal.
This is what I'm talking about. It's getting petty. Like, again, I think it's really weird for an older man like 40 to date a 39-year-old to date a 20-year-old. It's weird, but it's legal. Like, can we stop like trying to... Like, there's valid criticisms of Keemstar. This isn't one of them. This is just stupid. You know what I mean? Like, this is dumb. I hate that. Because to me, it, like, really diminishes... Because now what we're saying is, like, oh, well, since you at 39 dated a 20-year-old, you... Like, he says, like, since you do that, or you've done that, you should be able to have the ability to sympathize with basically somebody who's a pedophile sympathizer. Like, dude, stop. That's not the same thing. I think it's very diminishing to true survivors of this type of abuse to make that ridiculous assertion here.
TheQuartering responds to Keem by saying, Keem, we have all seen the young women you date. I get why you might sympathize with Pedro Pascal. He then quote tweets Keem and says, Keem doesn't understand cancel culture at all, and is just salty he got ratioed by trying to defend Pedro. Let's mourn a child rapist.
So why wouldn't your next move be like to try to educate him on cancel culture, if that's your stance, rather than to say that he's a sympathizer of predatory individuals?
Pascal. The quartering then shows that his reply to Keemstar ratioed him, and he captions it by saying, "I just peed in Keem's basement." Captain Buzzkill responds to the quartering by saying, "So you can never point out people are shitty without being part of cancel culture?" The quartering responds by saying, "No, you can. Keem's just dumb." Full Trex responds to the quartering by saying, "Nah man, honestly Keemstar has a point. There was no reason at all tried to act Disney Plus in The Mandalorian of one actor's stupid tweet. You could easily criticize himself rather than being SJW and target Disney and tried to make him lose his job over it."
Well, let's be honest. We know that he was never going to lose his job over it. Let's keep that in mind. Like, there is a very big difference here. Like, the online social narrative really is that Kyle Rittenhouse is like guilty, and that the people that he killed were victims. And so, regardless of whether you agree or disagree with that, you can never point that out and actually get somebody to lose their jobs. Right? That's just the reality of the situation. So the intent, like, maybe his intent was to get him to lose his job, but I think we all kind of understand that, you know, like there's no way that you could, it can never be really career damaging to support the online social movement, because for the most part, here's the thing. I honestly believe most people understand Kyle Rittenhouse's case, and they're actually like understand it and they're fine with it. Online, people are fucking crazy. And some people do, like, I understand they genuinely support, like, they think that Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty. Like, I'm not saying that they don't think that. But most people because, like, that's kind of, like, they'll look at that and they'll just be like, I don't care. They'll tune out. They don't care if somebody disagrees with them. The average person, they don't care if somebody disagrees with them on Kyle Rittenhouse. They just got home from working 45 hours, like, beating the shit out of their body, and they just want to watch, like, fucking Reba or something, and they want to, like, decompress. So they're not super ingrained into the social shit. So nobody's really going out of their way to cancel anybody that's, like, super progressive. Like, that was never, like, a cancelable thing to say. I'm just saying.
The quartering quote tweets him and says, "Never said he should be fired. Full stop." BDWit22 responds to the quartering by saying, "There's a difference in saying the N-word 10 years ago and currently supporting known child molesters. Keem is dead wrong here." Keemstar then responds to the quartering
Where did the N-word shit come from?
with a Twitter video titled, "Two bitches on different teams."
Did you just say, I ratioed you? You're just mad because I ratioed you. You know who else ratios me? Hassan Piker. Why are you and Hassan Piker completely different fucking spectrums of the political landscape? Ratio and Keemstar.
That's so weird.
I don't know. One.
Oh, it's because Keemstar is Batman. Everybody hates him, but he's the hero we need. You know what I'm saying? That's why the whole political spectrum is nay-naying Keemstar, because he's fucking Batman, dude. He's the main character. I mean, like, whether you like it or not, he's the main character. Hassan and the quartering, they're just popular side characters. Hassan's kind of like, I guess he'd be like the Joker, because he's probably the most popular anti-Keem person. And the quartering is maybe like the Penguin or something, or maybe that's a little fat phobic. I'm going to double down on that one. I know I'm obese, but, you know, it kind of does fit. So, Keemstar is Batman.
Nobody fucking likes me. I've accepted it. But two, you kind of cheated in all of this. You and
Robin.
Hassan Piker, both of you. Because you're
I think Ethan might be Robin. Or, I don't know. Bane? Oh, the quartering's Bane? Okay. Am I Bane? That's cool. I'm not Hispanic, though. I think Bane is actually Hispanic. But hey, I'll take it, bro.
Political fucking hacks, which means you come out and you say, I fucking love Trump or I love AOC or whatever the fuck, and you automatically get support because people are on the same fucking team. You have bad takes like Hassan Piker coming out saying, yeah, I love socialism, I love Bernie Sanders, but then he buys a $2 million fucking mansion or some shit, right?
See, that's what I don't understand. Like, I don't like that criticism. Like, I think that it's very reasonable to criticize a reasonable criticism to say, like, you know, Hassan does like socialism, and he constantly calls Amazon out for being like a really shitty company that oppresses its workers, but takes exclusivity contracts from them, even though he doesn't need to, which just ends up boosting like their financial numbers. That's a more, I think, valid criticism than saying like, oh, he bought a big house, you know. But okay, go on.
He doesn't give any of his fucking money to the people. Giant hypocrite. He doesn't get called out because he's on a team, so he gets team support. You're against cancel culture, but you're out here fucking calling out Disney Plus. You're calling out the fucking Star Wars series. You're literally trying to get this fucking actor fired, right? Huge hypocrite quartering, but you know what? You ratioed me. You want to know why? Because you're on a fucking team. I'm on a team. I'm on this guy's team.
Thank you so much for the sub, my man.
Support me, boy.
Jesus Christ, 16 months. Thank you, brother.
Guys, no one gives a fuck about your ratio. This is man shit between me and you. You're fucking wrong, and I know it, and you know it. You fucking ugly little bitch that got fucking slapped by a
Hey, this is man shit? Brother, I don't know. This doesn't feel like man shit to me, and this seems like some petty shit to me. Hey, thank you so much for this up, my man. This is man shit. Bro, we're having a petty argument on Twitter, brother. That's not man shit, man. You fuck out of here.
A man in a fucking dress and got so salty, you're pathetic. Slapped by a man in a fucking and you know it, you fucking ugly little bitch that got fucking slapped by a man in a fucking dress and got so salty.
Sounds kind of hot, but what are we talking about?
Your pathetic ass went to YouTube and raised money to sue the guy in a dress that punched you. That's some bitch shit. You're a bitch forever. Never forget it.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, man code says like you're not supposed to sue when you get assaulted. What is he talking about? When did the quarter get smacked in the face by a man in a dress? Let's see what we got. Just curious, brother. Okay, so he's suing a man in a dress. I just want to see him get smacked in the face. If you're not going to show it to me, I don't care. All right, whatever. Let's keep going.
TheQuartering responds to Keemstar by saying, I just peed in my basement. He then makes another response that says, you totally like you don't care, Keem. Lol. Maybe make another video saying you don't care. Yes, I was assaulted. Ask the guy how it turned out for him. Give him a call from the pool with your shirt and hat on. I just peed in my basement. He then
what the fuck is happening?
tweets Keemstar and says, cope. Punish Dog responds to TheQuartering by saying, you were literally just Hassan Piker if he was right wing, laughing my ass off. TheQuartering quote tweets him and says, I'm in way better shape. TheQuartering then
That's so stupid. This is so dumb.
quote tweets Keemstar's video again and says, yes, I was
hey, thank you so much for the sub, brother. Hope I had a good Thanksgiving. Thank you. You too, man. I hope you did too.
violently assaulted by a leftist/Antifa guy while my back was turned because he was a real tough guy. Are you pro-assault now too? Maybe look up how it ended for him. Here's a hint. Badly. Point of order, he was not wearing a dress. Check the police record. He also taught self-defense, ironically. Keemstar never ends up responding to TheQuartering past this point, but he does indirectly respond to him by retweeting a Nicholas Diorio tweet showing that TheQuartering responded to Keemstar by saying, I just peed in my basement. And that is about it for this feud. Pretty funny stuff. I would love to hear your guys' opinion on this in the comment section below. Do you think TheQuartering has a point? Do you think he went overboard? Do you agree with Keemstar's take, or do you disagree with it? Whatever your thoughts are, I would love to hear them in the comment section below. But before you do that, if you could subscribe to this channel.
Here's my take, bro. I think that this is fucking gay. Like, ghetto is so fucking dumb. Sorry. I shouldn't be calling things gay. I know it's wrong. Well, I'm still working on it. This is fucking childish drama. This is fucking stupid. I like that Keemstar asserts that it's man shit, though, and this is not man shit. This is some fucking childish shit, brother. But, you know.